I actually intended the clearing hurdles in a wheelchair to be metaphorical for like how I got into wheelchair racing. But if you want to take that literally, get me the hurdle and I will try it. That'd be awesome. All right, first slide. Okay, so I'm a little competitive. My husband taught me how to play Scrabble a couple years. It got a little out of control, and he won't play me anymore. I don't know why. What I found out from this was that I was a stay-at-home mom with no competitive outlet. I saw this one night on the Detroit Marathon website, and the title, like the time to you can do this, and then the countdown, it really invigorated me. I wanted to be a part of it, and so I signed up for my first race. It was a 5K at Hawk Island, and I finished with a 10.5 minute per mile pace. I was like, yes, I was not last. You know, I've been in a wheelchair for 8 years. I fell out of a tree when I was 18. So I wanted to get in one of these. This was my goal. I knew that I could go a little faster. What this is a racing wheelchair. It's basically a wheelchair in the back and then a big wheel in the front. They're about $3,000 retail, and they're really hard to find used. And so that was my first major hurdle. The second one was that I had no mentors. I Googled like wheelchair racing for Lansing, got nothing, and I had nothing to go off of. There was a program at U of I, and so I'm like, oh yeah, a 3-day training camp. I want to take some time away, go learn wheelchair racing, and then they're like, it's for 14 to 18-year-olds. I didn't know what to do with that. This is me strength training with my boys. So last summer I did 3 more races, and this is the Mackinac Bridge Run. It was the last race I did, and I finished with a 9 minute per mile time, so I was like getting a little faster. Come on, 9 minutes really. So in last January, I found out about the Challenged Athletes Foundation. This is an incredible group. This year, they gave away $1.4 million of adaptive equipment, running prosthetics. They gave skateboarding equipment, wheelchair racing, sailing, everything. All right, so this is a funny story. I went to sign up for my first race, of 2009. And it was the Riverbank Run in Grand Rapids. Had a 5K, a 10K, and a 25K. So I'm like, oh, a 10K would be perfect. So I go to sign up, and they're like, no, there's only a 25K wheelchair division. So like 15 miles? Sure, I can do that. So I bought a used racing chair. It was way too big for me, and it was 10 years old. And I finally found a mentor. So I felt like I had my 2 first hurdles crossed. This is the guy who taught me technique. So technique in a wheelchair, in a racing wheelchair, is you start with your elbows really high. You start at about making contact at 12 o'clock, and then push all the way down as fast as you can, and just kind of like the butterfly stroke in swimming. It's kind of very similar to that. And the fastest woman at the Boston Marathon had a 4.5 minute per mile pace. So they cook. And these are the gloves you wear. It lets you make that push technique. You keep a fist. And it was a hard thing to get into, pushing from with a fist. I didn't know what I was doing. So the Riverbank Run, I was up to an 8 minute per mile pace. I was very happy with that. And I actually got $1,000. Came in second. After that, I took it a lot more seriously. This is an example of a first-time marathoner's training program. You do short runs during the week, you do a long run on the weekend, and you just work up little by little. But I did get a new racing chair. It actually fit me. It was beautiful. I wasn't using some old man's anymore. And so things really took off from there. I was able to do a proper push technique, but I still had a lot more hurdles. I had a tire explode, my gloves fell apart, my steering broke, and my tires would fall off the rim when I go over a big bump, and all of which left me stranded on the side of the road. It was brilliant. All right, so the good news of this all is I'm getting it down to a 6 minute pace in the Crim, which was last month. And that's my bodybuilder pose, manly. So basically I tomorrow I get on a plane to do a marathon in Utah, and I'm really excited because if I get my pace down to 5.5 minutes per mile, I'll qualify for Boston and just do something that I had never thought I could do. Whether it was rehabilitating after an accident or giving birth to my boys, doing things that I thought I couldn't do has made me a better competitor. Like that girl on the left couldn't do a marathon, but the girl on the right could. So it's comforting to know that 10 years of being in a wheelchair has made me just more like, go get 'em. Thank you for listening.